Hey YouTube, I'm back this time with my February beauty empties. I don't have a whole lot, not because it was a shorter month, but yeah, I don't know. I really can't explain why not, because I really only have about half as much as I have been having lately. However, without further ado, I think I will go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I used up is a shampoo from Herbal Essences. This is in their classic rose scent that was really popular in the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s when I was in middle school and high school. And this is the classic replenishing shampoo for colored, permed, dry, and damaged hair. I have colored hair, so that's usually why I buy the rose scent whenever I do buy it. I don't find it especially amazing, however, I like it just enough to repurchase. So while this is not my favorite shampoo in the world, I still will continue to repurchase whenever I need to again. So I especially like the pump on top, and it had a really beautiful pink color that felt pretty appropriate for the month of February. So again, not my favorite, but I still would repurchase this. The next thing that I used up is, finally, I used up this bottle of dry shampoo that I actually brought over from the States. That's how long it takes me to go through one of these, and I've been here for 9 months. So this is the Batiste Instant Hair Refresh Dry Shampoo Plus, and this is for people with dark hair. I like these dark tinted dry shampoos because the ones that aren't just leave a white cast in my hair that drives me nuts. I'm not the person, clearly, who uses up tons and tons of dry shampoo. I just kind of use it whenever I'm in a bind, and finally I used up the entire thing. So really that's why it takes me so long. Sometimes I get fussy about the feeling of having product in my hair, so I have to be really careful about putting too much of this in, but for what it's worth, I like having at least one bottle around, and I will definitely repurchase it. So Batiste is a little bit expensive here. It's about twice as much as I would expect to pay in the US. However, you know, it's the brand that I like, and I know that it's already tinted dark, which is what I need, so I think that I will continue to repurchase. The next thing that I used up is this Colgate Cavity Protection. Since Crest is not a brand here, Colgate is my brand of choice while I'm in Australia. Is it especially amazing? No, but I think that it works just fine, so I continue to repurchase it. The next thing I finished up is something that always appears in my beauty empties. This is the Simple Sensitive Skin Experts Kind to Skin Micellar Cleansing Wipes. I use this to take off my makeup. Before I moved over here, I would always use like a washcloth and a liquid remover. However, I felt like I got to a point now where I just travel frequently enough that having wipes is more suitable to that kind of lifestyle. And I actually am using a simple liquid micellar water cleanser, I guess, now that I actually wanted to try out, but I don't like it as much as the wipes, so I think that after I finish it, I'm going to go back to these. So I'm actually going to the Great Barrier Reef for my birthday in a couple of weeks, so even if I'm not done with the actual micellar water, I'm just going to grab one of my backups of these and start using it again. Okay, so the next thing I finished up is a makeup product. This is the Mary Kay Foundation Primer Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 15. I used to think that this was like a staple in my makeup routine, and I stopped using it for a while and felt like I didn't really need it. However, I wound up in a position where my mom just gave me a bunch of these because she used to sell Mary Kay, and I don't dislike them, so I continue to just use up the ones that she gave me. And I have a few more, but I feel like once I use those up and I'm done with those, I think that I'm going to just toss foundation primers from my makeup routine altogether. Next thing I used up is a Lip Smackers Dr. Pepper. So something you should know is that Dr. Pepper is not really a common thing here. So back in the day it used to be, but for some reason it just kind of lost its popularity, and now I can only buy them for $2 a can in the American section of my grocery stores. So Dr. Pepper flavored anything is really like a treat to me. So last time I went to the States, I actually hauled a couple of these. So I just finished up one of them. Actually though, to my surprise, even though I liked Lip Smackers back in the day, like in middle school and high school, I actually didn't like it. So I don't feel like it tasted like Dr. Pepper, but I'm not really surprised because, you know, it's a cheap lip balm. But what I didn't like about it is the texture of it. It was just a little bit too, I guess I would say soft or maybe too thin for me. And the finish was just too glossy. So I have 2 more of these that I bought because I assumed I would like it, and I think that I will actually send them to my little sister instead. So that's unfortunate because I thought this was really fun to have and kind of a unique item to have in this country. But yeah, I think I just didn't like it enough to keep it around, so it's the way it goes, I guess. However, something I really was surprised that I loved this month was another pink item that I felt was pretty appropriate. This is the Body Shop Shower Gel in Pink Grapefruit. I am generally not a grapefruit person. Not necessarily to eat, but like the smell of it in terms of perfume. I just don't like how acidic it smells, and that's why I tend to stray away from it, especially in terms of Bath & Body Works. However, I purchased this from one of the Body Shop locations downtown on Black Friday, and yeah, I was expecting this to be fine, I guess, but this was divine. This was absolutely my favorite shower gel that I purchased that day from the Body Shop, and I would absolutely seek this out again. So when the Body Shop has their next sale, or perhaps on Black Friday this year in November, I will definitely seek this out and maybe even seek out a perfume in this. So was very happy to have this, but I was sad to see it go. The next thing I used up is something I used up toward the beginning of the month. This is my Clean and Clear Morning Burst Cleanser. This is clearly the orange one. I really love the yellow one. I think it has caffeine in it, if I might be wrong, but I feel like that's right. However, the only one I can find in Australia, and I have searched high and low for this. If you live here and you know where to find other like kinds of this, please let me know. But yeah, here in Australia, I've only found the orange kind, which is fine, but I do get a little bit bored of it. So it works for me. It's just, you know, your very kind of cheap-ish drugstore cleanser, and it might be juvenile, especially as I'm nearing 30. However, it works for me, so I see no reason to change. So again, I'm a little bit bored of the orange kind by this point, but ultimately it works for me, so I keep using it. The very last thing that I used up is actually this really old pencil sharpener from Sephora. These are the ones that you can buy, I don't know, maybe like $4 or $5. I just repurchased another one at a Sephora here, and it cost me like $7 Australian, so it's about in that price range. I like it because it has the 2 different sized holes with sharpeners, and you can pop up the top and it looks like that. So mine looks clearly very janky, but also I've had it for like 5 years. So I really like it for the larger hole in particular. I have some creamy eye pencils that I have had a hard time finding pencil sharpeners for because they're so wide, and it fits these, so I was really happy about that. This one finally just kind of fell apart, and the sharpeners just really aren't working for me anymore, so I gladly repurchased this. And I would absolutely suggest getting pencil sharpeners from Sephora. So again, it's kind of small, at least relatively speaking, but that's just my beauty empties for the month of February. Again, make sure that you are on the lookout for my wax empties because that will be actually kind of large this month. So with that, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at YellowBrickExpat, same way it's spelled here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.